What's up, y'all? I wanted to speak to this wave of new black conservatives and Republicans. It's a movement. I don't even like using that word, but it's a movement. And I think that the most dangerous person affiliated with this movement is Miss Angela Stanton. If you would have seen her interview on The Breakfast Club, then you would see why. I think that a lot of black conservatives and Republicans fall into the trap of being the voice for white people. And I mean that in the sense that white people want to criticize black people for black on black crime, for having illegitimate children, for welfare, for celebrating drug dealing, for all of those things, but they don't want to be considered racist. And so they need a black person to do it. And I think that a lot of black conservatives and Republicans, at least on the internet, they have found themselves to be the voices of said white people. Angela Stanton is different. Angela Stanton has a testimony that is powerful. Angela Stanton has the same views that most people in any hood across America have, right? And so she's dangerous because she has the power to flip generational black Democrats, right? She has a testimony that would have any church, any black church in America hollering, right? Except the only difference is, instead of saying how God got her out of her dark places, how God took her from a life of sin, she's replaced God with Donald Trump and the Republican Party. That's dangerous, man. That says that Angela Stanton is bad. And so let me say this. I understand why black people are disenchanted with the liberals and disenchanted with the Democratic Party, right? Because they are giving us handouts that will ultimately keep us dependent on them, right? Nothing that they are doing, have done, has given us self-sufficiency, right? And they have taken our vote for granted. I understand all of those things. I wouldn't disagree with any of those things. Here's the question that I have, right? A lot is done about leading black people from the Democratic Party to freedom. But how is it freedom when you go from the Democratic plantation to the Republican plantation, right? You're going from one plantation to another. Let's say if Harriet Tubman would have put a gun to her people's head and said, look, we going to freedom. We ain't turning back, right? But instead of leading them to freedom, she would have led them to a massa that's nicer. Then would we celebrate her in the same way? And so the question that I have is, how does the Republican Party represent freedom for black people when what we need is to invest in ourselves and do for self? And there's no white political party that can help us do that. Ultimately, we have to do it ourselves, okay? But this is the legitimate question, right? Because politics is just theater to me. I watch it and get my popcorn and I want to be entertained, right? But chime in the comments, if you will. And I want people to say, how does the Republican Party represent freedom for black people? All my black conservatives, all my black Republicans, I want you all to chime in on this. Don't be mad, but I really want you to chime in. I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace.